Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing very well. In today's class we will discuss residential status of company. This concept is very much relevant for your exam purpose. There is a circular number 6 by 2017. We shall also discuss on this point also. I discuss the concept in very simple way, in very lucid language, so that you can understand the concept and apply in exam also. So without wasting much time, let's start the class. Financial status of a company. Company's tax liability depend on the residential status during the relevant previous year. This is determined on the basis of either on the basis of incorporation or on the basis of control and management of its affairs. So based on the residential status, companies can be classified in two categories: resident company and non-resident companies. Resident status of a company. An Indian company, a company which is incorporated in India, is an Indian company, and the Indian company shall always be resident in India. Indian company shall always be resident in India, even if its management, its control and management is outside India. So the company which are incorporated in India shall always be an Indian company. In case of foreign company, there is a turnover criteria. If foreign company's turnover is less than 50 crore, if foreign company whose turnover or gross receipt is less than 50 crore, then we need not to check whether the POEM is, whether the place of effective management is. If the turnover is less than 50 crore, then that foreign company is always be non-resident in India. Indian company shall always be resident in India. In foreign company, a foreign company whose turnover is less than 50 crore shall always be a foreign company, shall always be a non-resident in India. But a foreign company whose turnover or gross receipt is in previous year is more than 50 crore, then we need to check POEM. Whether if POEM is in India, then that company is a resident company. If POEM is out of India, then that foreign company is a non-resident company. So Indian company shall always be an Indian company, even if its control and management from outside India. 51% shareholding by the non-resident also. Second, circular number 6 by 17 deals with the POEM. Deals with the POEM. Uh, Different criteria, we will deal this circular in detail in further slides. And circular number 8 deals with that a foreign company whose turnover is less than 50 crore is non-resident in India. So in short, to cut the story short, Indian companies shall always be resident in India. A foreign company whose turnover is less than 50 crore shall always be non-resident in India. A foreign company whose turnover is more than 50 crore shall be resident in India if POEM is in India and the POEM is out of India. There are two important circular number 6 and circular number 8. Circular number 6 by 17 deals with POEM, and circular number 8 by 17 deals with foreign company whose turnover is less than 50 crore shall be non-resident in India. Start with POEM. Circular number 6 by 2017. This circular is guiding principles for POEM determination. Why this concept was introduced? Prior to the Finance Act 2015, prior to the Finance Act 2015, a company is said to be resident in India in any previous year if it is an Indian company, or if during that year the control and management of its affairs is situated wholly in India. The POEM concept was introduced from the previous year 16-17 through the Finance Act 2015. So prior to previous year 16-17, a company is said to be resident in India if that company is an Indian company, or if any foreign company whose control and management or management of its affairs is situated wholly in India. The concept wholly is important. This allows tax avoidance opportunity for companies to artificially escape the residential status under this provision by shifting insignificant or isolated events related with control and management outside India. Foreign companies are taking the benefits and they arrange a single board meeting or single HR meeting outside India and saying that the place control and affairs are not wholly in India, are not situated wholly in India. That meeting was taken outside India. To address these concerns, the existing provision of section 6(3) of the Act, section 6 subsection 3 of the Act were amended by Finance Act 2015 with effect from 1st April 2016. This poem concept is applicable from the previous year 16-17. To provide that, what is this new concept? To provide that a company is said to be resident in India in any previous year if 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 it is an Indian company and its place of effective management in that year is in India. तो हाउ द तो अमेंडमेंट क्या आया था? अमेंडमेंट ये आया था थ्रू ये अमेंडमेंट एप्लीकेबल है प्रीवियस ईयर 16-17 से। अमेंडमेंट ये आया था कि द कंपनी इज सेड टू बी रेसिडेंट इफ इट इज एन इंडियन कंपनी और any foreign company whose place of effective management in that year is in India. Then the concept arises of what is place of effective management. The new concept was introduced. The place of effective management is defined in the act to mean a place where key management and commercial decisions that are necessary for the conduct of business of an entity as a whole are in substance made. The place where the key management commercial decisions are taken is the place of effective management. This Finance Act 16 has changed from the previous year 16-17. The Finance Act 16 has changed the effectivity of the said amendment to section 6 subsection 3 of the Act. Therefore, the amended provision would now be effective from the 1st April 2017 and will apply to assessment year 17-18. थोड़ा सा लॉ का लैंग्वेज इसलिए आपको समझने में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा होगा. दिस पोएम कंसेप्ट इज एप्लीकेबल फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस ईयर 16-17 or and for 16-17 the assessment year is 17-18 and subsequent assessment years. What is why this poem concept was introduced? The place of effective management is an internationally recognized test. This poem concept is internationally recognized concept for determination of residential status of a company incorporated in a foreign jurisdiction. Poem is an internationally recognized concept for determination of status or residential status of a company which was incorporated in foreign jurisdiction. Most of the tax treaties entered into by India recognizes the concept of place of effective management for determination of residential status of a company as a tiebreaker rule for avoidance of double taxation. So, poem is an internationally concept and this concept was used to enter into tax treaty between India and other foreign countries, and this is a tiebreaker rule for avoidance of double taxation. Poem, how to determine poem? We will discuss this concept in very simple language. First is a company is said to be engaged in active business outside India if the passive income is not more than 50%. Point number A deals with that. A company is said to be engaged in active business outside India if passive income is not more than 50%. Passive income is not more than 50%. Passive income means income not from regular sources like dividend income, royalty, all these are passive income. We will discuss in next slides. The passive income is less than 50%, and there are three more concepts which need to be checked. Second, first one is what? First one is less than 50% of total assets are situated in India. In India, the total assets situated in India is less than 50% of total assets of the company. Less than 50% of total number of employees is less than 50% which are in India. So, total number of employees less than 50% of total number of employees are situated in India or are resident in India, and the payroll expenses incurred on such employees means payroll expenses in India is less than 50% of its total payroll expenditure. So, a company is said to be engaged active business outside India then in that case we need to see whether the passive income is more than 50% or not. If passive income is less than 50%, is not more than 50%, means passive income is less than 50%, then we need to check further three concepts: whether assets of whether assets is in India is not more than 50% of the total assets, employee is in India is not more than 50% of total employees, and payroll expenses in India is not more than 50% of total payroll expenditure. We need to check to determine the active business outside India. Now, how do you check total assets? How do you check income? All these concepts are discussed in detail in next slide. So, explanation for the aforesaid purpose. देखो क्या लिखा है इसमें. The income shall be as computed for tax purpose in accordance with the laws of the country of incorporation. Suppose a foreign company was incorporated in Australia, then the income as per the tax law of Australian government. The I have told you, na, passive income is not more than 50% of total income. So how do you compute the total income? The income is computed as per the tax laws of the country in which the company was incorporated. And if it is not possible, suppose the company is in tax haven country, the company was incorporated in tax haven country, in that case, as per the books of accounts, where the laws of the country of incorporation does not require such computation. So how do you compute the income? Total income is less than passive income is less than 50% of total income. So we need to understand how to calculate the income as per the tax law, of the country in which the company was incorporated. And if the company was incorporated in tax haven country or no tax country, in that case, as per the books of accounts, and what is the value of assets? I have told you now, the less than 50% of total assets are situated in India. So what is the value of assets? In case of depreciable assets, shall be the average of its value of tax purpose in the country of incorporation of the company at the beginning and at the end of the previous year. Understand? In case of depreciable assets, average of its value at the opening and closing. In case of pool of fixed assets being treated as a block for depreciation, shall be average of its value for tax purpose in the country of incorporation of the company at the beginning and at the end of the year. And in case of any other asset, shall be its value as per books of accounts. So I have told you now, the 50% of total assets, less than 50% of total assets are in India. So how do you calculate the value of assets? Value of assets is depreciable assets. In case of depreciable assets, average of the value of assets calculated as per the laws of that country in which the company was incorporated. In case of pool of fixed assets, average of its value for the tax purpose. Or in case of any other assets, then in that case shall be its value as per the books of accounts. In the case of number of employees, shall be the average number of the employees, as at the beginning and at the end of the year, and shall include person who, though not employed directly by the company, perform tasks similar to those performed by the employees. So number of employees, I told you, the 50% of total number of employees are in India, less than 50% of employees are in India. So how do you calculate the number of employees? The average of employee as at the beginning and as at the end of the year. And this employee includes temporary employee, contractual employee, those who are working and performing the same task of the employee. The term payroll. What do you mean by payroll? The payroll includes cost of salaries, wages, bonus, and all other employees' compensation, including related pension and social cost borne by the employer. So in this slide we have discussed the concept which was mentioned in the previous slide, the how to calculate total income, how to calculate the value of assets, how to calculate the number of employees, and how to calculate the payroll expenses. We have discussed that if the company is said to be active business outside India, if the passive income is less than 50% of total income and the assets is less than 50% is situated in India, employee is less than 50% is situated in India, and the payroll expenditure is less than payroll expenditure in India is less than 50% of total expenditure of the company. So in this slide we will tell head office of the company. Head office of a company would be the place where the company senior management and the direct senior management and their direct support staffs are located, or if they are located at more than one location, the place where they are primarily or predominantly located. A company's head office is not necessarily the same as the place where the majority of its employees work or where its board typically meets. So head office of the company is where the senior management or most of the management and support staffs are located. Next, what is passive income? Passive income of a company shall be aggregate of income from transaction where both the purchase and sale of goods is from or to its associate enterprise. Means the passive income means the income from the transaction of both purchase and sale from the associate enterprise, not only purchase or not only sell. We need to check the both purchase and sell from the associate enterprise. If income from the transaction where both the purchase and sales of goods is from or to its associate enterprise. Second is what? Income by way of royalty, dividend, capital gain, interest or rental income. All these are concept of the passive income. So the passive income is income from where the transaction of both purchase and sale between associate enterprises, and income by way of royalty, interest, dividend, capital gain, etc. However, any income by way of interest shall not be considered to be passive income in case of a company which is engaged in the business of banking or is a public financial institution. normal सी बात है, this is the normal thing. If the company is engaged in the business of business of banking or public financial institution, then the interest component is not the passive income, and its activities are regulated as such under the applicable laws of the country of incorporation. Understand the concept of senior management. Senior management in respect of a company means person or persons who are generally responsible for developing and formulating key strategies and policies for the company. Senior management means persons who are responsible for developing and formulating key strategies and policies for the company and for ensuring or overseeing the execution and implementation of those strategies on regular basis and ongoing basis. While designation may vary, this person may include managing director or chief executive officer. These are the key management. Managing director, chief executive officer, financial director or chief financial officer, chief operating officer, the head of various division of the department, like a head of chief information or technology officer, director for sales or marketing. So all these are the senior management. The concept is that the senior management are the persons who are responsible for formulating or implementing the key strategic decisions and policies, and these persons are managing director, CFO, chief operating officer, technology director, sales director, marketing director. All these are senior management. So any determination of poem will depend upon the facts and circumstances of a given case. The poem concept is one of the substance of a form. It may be noted that an entity may have more than one place of management, but it can have only one place of effective management at any point of time. Since residency is to be determined for each year, poem will also be required to be determined on year to year basis. Poem a company is need to be determined on year to year basis. Poem need to be determined on year to year basis. The process of determination of poem would be primarily on the facts as to whether or not the company is engaged in active business outside India. We have discussed the concept active business outside India in previous slides. One concept we have dealt with the place of effective management where the passive income is less than 50%. So there is some other concept is also, if there is one other concept for determination of POEM is also the place of effective management in case of a company is engaged in active business outside India shall be presumed to be outside India if the majority meeting of the board of directors of the company are held outside India. If a majority of the meeting of board of directors are held in outside India, then this is known as the active business outside India. But there is some refinement, there is some restriction, there is some analysis on this point. So see it. However, if on the basis of facts and circumstances, it is established that the board of directors of the company are standing aside and not exercising their powers of management, and such powers are being exercised by either the holding company or any other person resident in India, then the place of effective management shall be considered to be in India. If the meetings are held outside India, but the power or the key person who takes the decision is either a holding company which is in India or a person which is in India, then in that case, in both the cases, it is treated as the active business in India, not outside India. For the purpose of determination whether the company is engaged in active business outside India, the average of data of the previous year and 2 years prior to that shall be taken into account. So the if majority of board meetings are held outside India, to know the majority of the meeting, to get the numbers of majority, we need to consider this year data and as well as the 2 previous year data. In case the company has been in existence for a shorter period, then data of such period shall be considered. Where the accounting year for tax purpose in accordance with the laws of a country of incorporation of the company is different from the previous year, then the data of the accounting year that ends during the relevant previous year and 2 accounting years preceding it shall be considered. Data of the data of the current year and the previous 2 years is considered. If the company is for shorter period, then the shorter period data is considered. In case of companies other than those that are engaged in activities outside India, the determination of POEM would be a two-stage process. In previous slide, we have dealt with now the number of board of directors meeting held outside India. In that case, this is a two-stage process. First stage is what? First stage would be identification or ascertaining the person or persons who actually make the key management and commercial decisions for conduct of the company's business as a whole, the key person who is taking the decision. And second stage is that the place where these decisions are in fact being made, or the place where the decisions are taken. So this concept is relevant for that this concept is relevant for the point which was discussed in previous slide, that if a board of directors board meetings are held, maximum majority of the board meetings are held outside India, then it is treated as the active business outside India, and on that basis if POEM is determined, then it is the two-stage process. First stage is that whether the person who is to ascertain the person who is taking the decision, and the second stage is that the which place actually the place where the decisions are being made. These two factors we need to consider. The place where these management decisions are taken would be more important than the place where such decisions are implemented. The place where the decision is taken is more relevant than the place where the decisions are implemented. For the purpose of determination of POEM, it is the substance which would be conclusive rather than the form. Substance over the legal form. The substance, the actual things, the actual fact is considered. Actual fact is more relevant. It is clarified that the day-to-day routine operational decisions undertaken by the junior or middle level management shall not be relevant for the purpose of determination of POEM. POEM, to determine the POEM, the strategic decision, the key decisions are important. The operational decisions are not relevant. the operational decisions related to the oversight of the day-to-day business operation and activities of the company, whereas the key management and commercial decisions are concerned with the broader strategic and policy decision. For example, a decision to open a major new manufacturing facility or to discontinue a major product line would be example of key commercial decisions affecting the company's business as a whole. So, it is the poem. So, it is the key management decision. By contrast, decision by the plant manager appointed by the senior management to run that facility concerning repairs and maintenance, the implementation of a company wide quality control and human resource policy would be example of the routine operational decision. Routine operational decisions are not considered to determination or to determine poem, whereas the key commercial decisions are important to determine the poem. In certain situation, it may happen that a person responsible for operational decision is the same person who is responsible for the key management and commercial decision. In such cases, it will be necessary to distinguish the two type of decisions and thereafter assess the location where the key management and commercial decisions are taken, If it is unable to determine the poem by the primary factors, the matter which we discussed in previous slides are the primary factors: passive income, assets location, employees, number of employees, payroll expenditure, senior management, place of the senior management, board of directors meeting, decision taken by the person, key commercial decisions. All these are the primary factors. If it is unable to determine the poem based on these factors, then there are some secondary factors. What are the secondary factors? If the factors mentioned earlier do not lead to clear identification of poem, then the following secondary factors can be considered. What? Place where main and substantial activity of the companies is carried out, and place where the accounting records of the companies are kept. Records of the companies are kept. So, what are the secondary factors? There are two secondary factors: where the main and substantial activity of the company is carried out and where the accounting records are kept. These are the two. To determine the concept of poem, now we need to see in detail, we need to consider the fact, the prudence, we apply prudence, substance over the legal form. It need to be emphasized that determination of poem is to be based on all relevant facts related to the management and control of the company, and is not to be determined on the basis of the isolated facts that by itself do not establish effective management, as illustrated by the following examples. So, to determine the poem, we need to consider the all relevant facts of the control and management of the company. There is no we consider just only one factor and say that the poem is outside India. That will not be true. So, there are some examples. The fact that a foreign company is completely owned by an Indian company will not be conclusive evidence that the conditions for establishing poem in India have been satisfied. Next is that the fact that there exists a permanent establishment of a foreign entity in India would itself not be conclusive evidence that the condition of establishing poem in India have been satisfied. The fact that one or some of the directors of a foreign company reside in India will not be conclusive evidence that the conditions for establishing a poem in India have been satisfied. The fact of the local management being situated in India in respect of activities carried out by the foreign company in India will not by itself be conclusive evidence that the conditions for establishing poem have been satisfied. And the existence in India of support functions that are preparatory and auxiliary in character will not be conclusive evidence that the condition for establishing poem in India have been satisfied. So, there are some examples are given here. So, before determination of poem, we need to consider all relevant facts relevant for the management and control of the company. It is reiterated that the above principles for determining the poem are for guidance only. No single principle will be decisive in itself. In other words, a snapshot approach is not to be adopted. We need to consider the all relevant facts for the control and management of the company. Further, based on the facts and circumstances, it is determined that during the previous year the poem is in India and also outside India, then poem shall be presumed to be in India if it has been mainly predominantly in India. Suppose based on the above factors, if the poem is if it is find that there are some factors which says that poem is in India, and there are some factors which say that poem is outside India, and in that case if the poem are in the both the places in equally, then we say that the poem is in India if it has been mainly predominantly in India. I think this point is clear. The assessing officer, now this point is very much relevant. The assessing officer shall, before intimating any proceedings for holding a company incorporated outside India on the basis of its poem as being resident in India, seek prior approval of the principal commissioner or the commissioner as the case may be. There is a chances that one MCQ question will come from this topic. The AO, before deciding that the poem is in India, shall take the approval of the principal commissioner or the commissioner as the case may be. And is to take permission from the principal commissioner to hold a company, to inquire, to initiate a proceedings to consider a foreign company to be a resident based on poem. Further to that, if AO proposes to hold a company incorporated outside India on the basis of its poem as being resident in India, then any such finding shall be given by the AO after seeking prior approval of the collegium of 3 members consisting of the principal commissioner or the commissioner. So AO after finding AO submit its finding AO submit his finding to the collegium of 3 members consisting of principal commissioner as the case may be, to be considered by the principal chief commissioner of the region concerned in this regard. AO give its finding to hold a foreign company as a resident based on poem. The AO give all such finding to the collegium of 3 members consisting of principal commissioner. The collegium so constituted shall provide an opportunity of being heard to the company before issuing any directions in the matter. So collegium gives an opportunity to the foreign company of being heard. On these grounds, on these facts, your poem is considered to be India and you are supposed to be resident in India. Give some clarification and give an opportunity of being heard to the foreign company. There are some examples. We discussed all the details. Now the examples, these examples are given in circular also. So we just capsulize all the concept through examples. A company is a sourcing entity for an Indian multinational group. Company A is an sourcing company for an Indian multinational group incorporated in country X. So company A is in country X. Country X is a 100% subsidiary of Indian company B. Company B is Indian. Company B is Indian. Company B is Indian. The warehouse and stock in them are the only assets of the company and are located in country X. Located in country X. Warehouse and the stocks are located in country X. All the employees of the companies are also in country X. All the employees are in country X. The average income wise breakup of the company's total income for 3 years is 30% of the income is from transaction where purchases are made from parties which are not associated enterprise and sold to associated enterprise. Means 30% of income are made from the transaction from where purchases are made from the parties purchased from non AE and sold to AE. 30% of its income, 30% of its income 30% of income from transaction where purchases are made from AE and sold to AE. this is relevant. Purchase are made from A, purchase are made from A and sold to A, and 30% of its income is from the transaction where purchase are made from associate enterprise and sold to non-associate enterprise, purchase from A and sell to non-A, and 10% of income is by way of interest. What are the concept? I have told you the passive income means the income between the income where purchase and sale both are taken between the A. Then here the income is 30% is passive income and 10% is passive income. So income is less than 50%, income is less than 50%. See the answer. In this case, passive income is 40%, the total income of the company. The passive income consists of 30% of income from the transaction where both purchase and sale is from or to associate enterprise, and 10% of income from the interest. So the passive income is 40%. Now we need to check the other three concept, that assets is located outside India, 50% of less is located outside India. The A company satisfies the first requirement of the test of active business outside India. Since no assets or employees of a company are in India, the other requirement of the test is also satisfied. Therefore, the company is engaged in active business outside India. I hope this point is clear. All the facts, all other facts remaining the same in example 1. There are some slight changes, with the variation that A company has total 50 employees, 47 employees managing the warehouse, storekeeping and accounts of the company are located in country X, and the managing director, chief executive officer and sales head are resident in India. The total annual payroll expenditure on these 50 employees is of rupees 5 crore, and the annual payroll expenditure in respect of MD, CEO and sales head is of 3 crore. So the out of total 5 crore payroll expenditure, 3 crore is in India. So as per the as I discussed earlier, the first limit is that passive income is less than 50%, and there are some three more conditions. Asset is less than 50% in India, employee is less than 50% in India, and the payroll expense is less than 50% in India. If all these three conditions are satisfied, then it is considered that the active business outside India. If any of the three conditions are not satisfied, then it is considered that the active business in India. See, although the first limb of active business outside India is business test is satisfied by A company, as only 40% of its total income is passive in nature. Further, more than 50% of the employees are also situated outside India. All the assets are situated outside India. However, the payroll expenditure in respect of the MD, the CEO and the sales head being employees resident in India exceeds 50% of the total payroll expenditure. Therefore, a company is not engaged in active business outside India. Example 3. The facts are same in example 1. The further facts are that all the directors of a company are Indian resident during the relevant previous year, and meeting of the board of directors is held, of which 2 were held in India and 3 outside India, with 2 in country X and 1 in country Y. So there was another condition was there also. If the majority of the board meetings are held in India, it is considered to be active business in India. See the interpretation. The A company is engaged in active business outside India, as the facts indicate. Example 1 establishes the majority of the board meeting have been held outside India. Therefore, the poem of A company shall be presumed to be outside India. Therefore, A company shall be presumed to be outside India. The poem shall be presumed to be outside India. Example 4. All the facts remaining the same in example 3, but it is established by the assessing officer that although a company's senior management team signs all the contracts for all the contracts above rupees 10 lakh, the A company must submit its recommendation to B company. See, in example 1 I have told that B company is an Indian company and B company is a holding company, and A company is the subsidiary of B company which was in country X, and B company makes the decision whether or not the contract may be accepted. It is also seen that during the previous year more than 99% of the contract of above 10 lakh and over past years also the same trend in respect of value contribution of contract above rupees 10 lakh is seen. So, in this example we have dealt that though the meeting was held outside India, but the permission is taken from the holding company and the holding company is in India. For the permission is taken for the transaction of above rupees 10 lakh, and it is seen that 99% of the contract are above rupees 10 lakh. So, it is presumed that the active business is not outside India, active business in India. See the interpretation. The fact suggests that effective management of a company may have been usurped by the parent B company. Therefore, poem of A company may in such cases be not presumed to be outside India, even though A company is engaged in active business outside India and majority of the board meeting are held outside India. Understand? I think this point is clear to all of you. Example 5. An Indian multinational group has a local holding company A company in country X. The A company also holds also has 100% downstream subsidiary B company and C company in country X and D company in country Y. See example, an Indian multinational group has a local holding company A company in country X. Achha, means A in country X. A in country X. A company also holds 100% subsidiaries in B company and C company. B company in country X and B and C in country X and D company in country Y. So, A has subsidiary company of B company and C company in country X and D company in country Y. The A company has income only by way of dividend and interest from investment made in its subsidiary. The place of effective management of A company is in India and is exercised by ultimate parent company of the group. Okay. The subsidiary of B, C and D are engaged in active business outside India. The meeting of board of directors of B, C and D are held in country X and country Y respectively. So, as I have told you earlier, we have discussed in previous slides that the concept of prudence we need to see. We need to see the relevant facts for the effective management of the company. Mere that the parent company is an Indian company, that does not mean that the subsidiary company will also be an effective business in India. So, see the interpretation. Merely because the place of effective management of an intermediary holding company is in India, the poem of its subsidiary shall not be taken to be in India. Each subsidiary has to be examined separately, as indicated in the fact, since company B, C and D are independently engaged in active business outside India and majority of the board meeting of these companies are also held outside India, the poem of B, C and D companies shall be presumed to be outside India. Thank you everyone for your patience hearing, and this concept we have discussed in detail. This concept is very much important for your exam purpose, as one question is coming from poem to they are giving some examples to consider the poem is in India or outside India. So, we have discussed this concept in detail. There is some primary factor, there are 2 or 3 factors. First, passive income consideration, then board of directors meeting, there are some passive factors also. What are the cases if AO take up permission from the principal commissioner and also give an evidence to collegium of principal commissioners, opportunity of being heard is given to the foreign company. All these concepts I have discussed in detail, and I think this point is very much relevant. I hope my viewers will not have any problem. Still, if anyone have any problem in this matter, we can mail me at my mail ID is given here, amzaclasses.ca.ch.cma@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone. Thank you.